9, and 10. Trim extend to corner, and trim extend to single element. There are two modification tools next to each other that work very similarly and need to be clarified. Trim extend to corner and trim extend to single element. They trim or extend objects up to the edge of another object. In both, we need to pick two objects. However, the first impacts both objects since the second only changes the second object. Select the tool first to perform any of them, and then pick the objects. Trim extend to corner keeps the side of the objects that we click on. For example, if two walls intersect and we want to keep these sides of the walls, then we have to select the trim tool and click over the side of the wall that we want to keep, and then Revit will remove the unwanted side. Let's undo and follow the same process on other sides of the walls. Also, if the walls are not intersecting, having the trim extend to corner tool selected and then clicking over the walls, Revit extends them so they intersect each other at a point. You can type in TR as a shortcut to use this tool. Let's emphasize 3 points about this tool. First, we need to select the tool first and then select the objects. Next, this tool keeps the side of the element we click over and removes the other side. And finally, it causes changes to both elements, not only one of them. As mentioned, the trim extend single element works like the trim extend to corner, but only changes the second picked object. Select the tool first, then click over the first object, then click over the second object. The first object remains unchanged, and the second object will be extended to match the extent of the first object. If the second object does not intersect the first object after the extension, it changes in length, showing that it meets the extent of the first object. As shown in all these examples, the first wall we pick doesn't change, and the second wall trims or extends to the first wall side, or extension. (11) Trim extend multiple elements. This tool is the same as the trim extend single element tool, but can extend or trim multiple objects. Select the tool first and then pick the first object. Then, by clicking over any object, they will change to match the extent of the first picked object. If you're finding this video helpful, check out revitgamers.com. Our courses go beyond the basics, bringing Revit to life with hundreds of dynamic visuals and animations that make complex concepts feel easy. This unique training approach is designed to speed up your learning and make BEAM adoption smoother than ever. Every day, more students and companies are joining Revit Gamers Club to elevate their Revit skills. Don't miss out. Head to revitgamers.com and see how Revit training can be fun, visual, and incredibly effective. 12. Split element. The split element tool allows us to divide objects such as walls into separate sections. To use it, select the tool or use the shortcut SL and then hover over the wall you want to split and then click. When you attempt to choose the wall again, you'll notice that it has been divided into two distinct parts. We can continue splitting the wall into more pieces. 13. Split with gap. The split with gap function divides an object into two or more parts with a specified gap between them. Start by selecting the tool, then set the desired gap in the options bar. Next, click on the object and it will be split into two separate pieces, maintaining the defined gap distance between them. The gap must be less than 12 inches or 304 millimeters. 16 and 17. Pin and unpin. In modeling programs, accidental changes to objects can happen. In Revit, to prevent unintended changes, you can select objects and then use the pin tool. This action locks the object in place, preventing accidental movement or rotation. It's important to note that while this tool restricts motion, it doesn't prevent adjustments to object parameters through the type and instance properties. For example, by selecting the object, we can change its type, height, base constraint, or any other parameter if needed. To identify the pinned objects, you can choose them and see if the pane symbol is located in the object's center point. To revert a pinned object to its default state for movement or rotation, select it and then choose the Unpin tool. An alternative method is to select the object and then click on the pin symbol. This action allows the object to return to its original state, allowing you to move or rotate it freely as needed. 18. Delete. Clicking the Delete tool after selecting an object deletes it from the model. However, using the Delete key on your keyboard is quicker. Select the desired objects, then press the Delete key to remove them from your project.